Alright guys, last bowl pick, the game. The only one that really matters in the end. The one that determines the champion of the year in the last year of the BCS. Talking about the Vizio BCS National Championship. Many thought this game would feature Alabama, but their rival school actually upset them in the Iron Bowl and is taking into this game as number 2 after Ohio State lost, as Florida State is going to take on the Auburn Tigers. These are two amazing teams, the best of the best this year. Two teams that are just incredible to watch play, and that's going to make for one amazing title game and really send the BCS out with a bang. Let's start this video by talking about Florida State, number 1 team in the nation, and rightfully so. While playing in a little bit weaker conference than the SEC or Pac-12 or Big 12, Florida State has looked nothing but dominant all year. It's a team that, with freshman Heisman winner Jameis Winston, has averaged 322 yards a game passing, 14th in the nation, 207 yards rushing, 24th in the nation, scored a second best 53 points per game, and only given up 10.7 points per game, which is first in the nation on defense. These guys have been unbelievably good all year. Destroyed their opponents, especially ranked opponents, and just looked all around dominant. Let's talk about their season, okay? They faced a lot of teams that made bowl games. They played Pitt to start the year, won 41-13, beat Nevada 62-7, Bethune-Cookman 54-6. Boston College actually gave these guys a game. It was surprising, but they still won 48-34. They played a then 25th ranked Maryland team and beat them 63-0. They played at Clemson, who was third in the nation, with Taj Boyd, another Heisman candidate at the time, and beat them 51-14. They beat NC State 49-17, destroyed then 7th ranked Miami 41-14, beat Wake Forest and Syracuse 59-3, put up 80 against Idaho in an 80-14 win, destroyed rival Florida 37-7. That made them 12-0 and put them in the ACC title game against a surprisingly good Duke team that almost beat Texas A&M, and they beat them 45-7. This is a team that has just been unstoppable all year, led by Jameis Winston's 3,820 yards and 38 touchdowns. They've also ran well, with Freeman and Williams having 943 and 705 yards respectively, and combining for 24 more touchdowns. I mean, they've got Green, who had 981 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, and then Benjamin, who had only 957 yards, but 14 receiving touchdowns. This is a team that is just unstoppable right now. They're favored by over a touchdown going into this game against a really good SEC team, and that's amazing. But you can't talk about amazing without talking about that SEC team. The Auburn Tigers this year had low expectations from anybody outside of the program. They went 3-9 last year, including a 49-0 embarrassment against Alabama to end the year in the Iron Bowl. But they turned it around so quick with almost the same players under Gus Malzahn. He really took to a no-huddle, triple option, crazy spread attack, and it just worked for him. Passing the ball, they only average 169.6 a game, 107th in the nation. But it doesn't matter because they run the ball better than any team I've ever seen. 335.7 yards a game is first in the nation. They put up yardage on everybody, even Alabama, who's traditionally been monstrous against the run. They were 10th in the nation with 40.2 points a game, and 38th, giving up 24 points a game. Their defense has struggled at times. They've given up a lot of yardage, over 400 a game, and Florida State puts up over 500 a game. So their defense doesn't match up well for this, but that offense can't be stopped by anybody. So I don't even know if Florida State's going to be able to stop them. They're going to hope to turn this game into a shootout, and if they do, it could get interesting. Let's just talk about their season now. They started off against Wazoo and almost choked, but won 31-24. They played Malzahn's former school as a head coach, Arkansas State, beat them 38-9. Survived Mississippi State 24-20, and then actually suffered a loss at LSU 35-21. But after that loss, you really saw this team come into form. They beat Ole Miss 30-22 when they were 24th in the nation. Beat Western Carolina 62-3. Beat Texas A&M 45-41 in a shootout. Beat Florida Atlantic 45-10. Arkansas 35-17. Tennessee 55-23. And then the improbable games happened. They played Georgia, a team that was tough, had Aaron Murray throwing the ball crazy. They were 25th in the nation, and Georgia was up late, 38-35. It was 4th and 18, prayer time, and the prayer was answered at Jordan-Hare. They've even been calling it the prayer at Jordan-Hare, as Nick Marshall threw up a pass that was in double coverage, underthrown, and the two defensive players in fighting for the ball missed it, knocked it into the air, and it fell directly into his receiver's hands. And he took it all the way for a 73-yard score with under 30 seconds left. It gave Auburn a 43-38 win and set up what was essentially the first national title. I guess you'd almost call it a national title quarterfinal for him against Alabama. Now, Alabama, number one in the nation, dominant team, really honestly outplayed Auburn in the Iron Bowl. They made all the plays. They were up late by as many as 10 points, if I recall, and they took 2 missed field goals and then a third missed field goal being returned for a touchdown, 100 yards at the buzzer for Auburn to beat Alabama. So a lot of people are still arguing that Alabama's the best team in the country, but you can't argue with the result, even if they beat themselves. Auburn won that game 34-28, and those 2 weeks combined have people calling this team a team of destiny. They think they're destined to win this, and a lot of people call phooey to it because they were actually still the underdogs in the SEC title game, but they beat Missouri 59-42 in a monster shootout to put themselves in position to play for this BCS championship game. They need a little help, and they got it when Ohio State was beaten by Michigan State. Now the SEC has a chance to add yet another BCS title, which would be either 7 or 8 in a row. They can get it. Now talk about their quarterbacking and runners. Nick Marshall only has 1,759 yards and 12 touchdowns, but he made big plays when he needed them most, including that huge late touchdown pass against Alabama. He faked the run, Bama bit on it, and he threw a monstrous touchdown. Now, rushing the ball, they are so good. Trey Mason, Heisman candidate, he went to the Final Five. He got to make the trip to NY for it. He ran for 1,621 yards and 22 touchdowns. He was unstoppable on third down, especially in short. I can't remember how many he converted. It's been like 35 straight or something like that. But he's just unbelievable. Nick Marshall's also really good. This is an option-based offense. He ran for 1,023 yards and 11 more touchdowns. Receiving, they've got Coates with 841 yards and 7 touchdowns. Overall, this team is just super fast. They're really going to bring it. This is a tough game to predict. Auburn are underdogs after all of that, beating 2 or 3 of the best teams in college football. A lot of people think that if Alabama was in this game, it would be a better matchup, and I think that's partially true. Auburn doesn't match up well with Florida State with their defense being as bad as they are, but Auburn's offense is so hard to control, and Florida State's coming in with a freshman playing in this title game against an SEC defense, and while it's a bad one, it's still going to be a tough game. I don't think that Florida State played anybody even close to the style Auburn plays. Not that there are many teams that are close to the style. I think that's going to show here. I think that actually Auburn shouldn't be slept on in this. They played tough all year. They've gotten better as the year's gone on. I think they're going to show up in this game with their running game. Even though Florida State only gives up an average of 90 a game, I think Auburn's getting slept on here. Maybe it's just SEC bias in me, but I'm actually going to pick the Auburn Tigers to win this game and take home the national title. I think Florida State's going to struggle more than people expect them to. I think it's going to be a shootout with upwards of 40 and 50 points scored. Ultimately, I think that Auburn's going to win this game with some late game heroics, as has been the case all year. I think it's going to be a final score of probably really close. I'm going to say 45-41 Auburn, with a touchdown late in the game being the difference. This one was hard to predict. I'm really going against the grain on this one. Florida State's been the overwhelming favorite, but I mean, it's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I hate to say it because I'm actually a huge Alabama fan, but Auburn just looks like a team that just can't be stopped right now. And Florida State, it's like, oh, this was so hard to pick. But I don't know. For all you guys who've watched these, thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. If I should make more videos like this, feel free to let me know. I might start doing NFL games or something, and I'm really going to hit these when NASCAR season comes around. I'm a huge NASCAR fan. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Enjoy the national title game, and I can't wait to get another season of football started next year. And also enjoy those NFL playoffs. They're going to be fun to watch. Later, guys.